and welcome along to the Project Cars 2 Virtual Racing League, where today you join us for round 7 of the GT3 Championship that we're running. And if you've been following it so far, it's been an epic championship so far, full of really exciting racing. And once again here today now, 5-minute qualifying, 2 20-minute races, 10 points for the winner each, with qualifying for the first one and a random grid for the second one. And after a very successful round last time out, Scuderia Sam extended his lead at the top of the championship ahead of Alex CDL, who's changed his car now for swapped out the Ginetta for a BMW. And then we've got Roger the Dodger, Chris Doherty, and the rest of the chasing pack close behind. So Watkins Glen, just over 3 miles of twisting, undulating asphalt here in America. Roger the Dodger claims pole position ahead of Alex CDL. They're two extremely fast drivers on the front row heading down to turn 1. Scuderia Sam is alongside Chris Doherty, who's also changed to a BMW. Seems to be a bit of a popular one, that. As we span through the grid now, it's Stork Brown and Cherryberry on row 3. The Audi versus the Lamborghini there. A good number of Lamborghinis still in the field. Luke McGee, the Scotsman, just ahead of McEvs there on row 4. Then we go to the back row, it's Twingo-tastic and Freak as well, lining up at the back there in that Bentley. So as you can see them at the top of the hill, they're revving their engines, they're getting ready to get going, and the lights go out, and it looks like Alex CDL's got the jump here on Roger, quick start in BMW. In behind there, it's almost 3 abreast between Stork Brown, Scuderia Sam and Chris Doherty. Who's going to come out ahead? It's Chris Doherty, who runs a little bit wide there, just alongside Scuderia Sam as Alex CDL snakes his way now up the hill towards the S's. Still side by side they go, Scuderia Sam and Chris Doherty heading up to the very treacherous corner. Oof, I got very close then. There's Cherryberry off, taking out one of the advertising boards. There's two Lamborghinis going side by side, coming onto this straight now, crucial straight. Stork Brown tucked underneath the back wing of that BMW there. He's going to go for the inside of Scuderia Sam, but just has to get out of it just in time there. And then, it looks like Chris Doherty's run a little bit over the grass, and other drivers also running over the grass there, so go through the very fast double chicane that's right at the top of the hill there. Very tricky corner to get right, as is most of this track actually. It's a very bumpy and old circuit. Used to be a former Formula 1 venue, of course, for 20 years or so in the 60s and 70s, and it looks like Alex CDL now is coming under pressure halfway through this lap from Roger the Dodger. Roger the Dodger showing excellent pace in that McLaren of late. He didn't have a great round last time out at Brno, but he's looking really racy here today. Alex CDL covering the inside, or outside line I should say. Roger the Dodger having a little think about it, but had to get out of it that way. A little bit of flaming retaliation from the orange McLaren there. And he's going to try and get a good run out of this very tight left-hander as they head towards the final few corners of this lap now. He's looking for a clean run. He decides better of it and tucks it back in beneath Alex CDL. There's no way through these last 2 corners unless someone makes a mistake, really. Very, very fast corners with treacherous curbs as well. You hit those curbs wrong, you're going to be going spinning and spinning away. And they're coming now over to complete the end of lap 1, and it looks like Alex CDL versus Roger is the story of the battle of the lead so far, with Chris Doherty, Scuderia Sam, Stork Brown behind, and then we've got a battle between Luke McGee, Cherryberry, McEvs, and Twingo and Free Gazelle chasing hard as well. And joining me in commentary today is Ian. What do you make of the first lap there, Ian?
Yeah, it's been looks shaping up, as you say, to be an epic battle between Roger the Dodger and Alex CDL. They were both quite fast, but unfortunate last time at Brno, so they'll be hoping to put that right this today in this round. And it's Alex's trademark lady style already in that BMW. He was first time out last round, so he'll be still getting to grips with it, but he's looking very fast with it, and he had another good qualifying with it, so we'll be looking to make the most of that. And we've got a bit of a gaggle of Lamborghinis here. These can always be quite entertaining as well. They've thrown up some quite a few moments already with Cherryberry and Luke McGee here. Cherryberry closing in on him here, and McEvs in the background. He's had his comings together at Brno with Cherryberry, so could be one to watch this space. And just ahead of them is Chris Doherty, who's changed his car this time out. He's had enough of that Renault, and he's moved into the BMW, having seen Alex CDL make the switch and do better for it. So that'll be an interesting one to see if he can tame that BMW better than he has been going in that Renault. He's had good speed in the Renault, but it's just not quite worked out for him. So maybe that change will be what he needs, as we look at Cherryberry taking full speed, trying to line up a move on Luke McGee, but also needs to watch McEvs from behind, as McEvs is looking for a way past there. And it's kind of even this battle here, and there's Twingo in the background as well. So it's an interesting battle here, and here's Stalker Brown, who's been the podium machine this championship, but he's just coming in, getting his pit stop out of the way early, and maybe he can come back in the rest of the day, but he's certainly gone very early in this one. As we look back to the front with Alex CDL still keeping in touch with Roger Dodger, but and, getting very sideways coming through that corner as they go up onto the I think that's the outer loop. So there'll be and speaking of loops, here's Looping McG just behind Chris again, trying to line up a move, but also wary of Cherry Bear in the background, who's kind of keeping in touch with him, but he's also coming through here and looking to maybe line up a move on Chris Doherty if he can. It's the battle for fourth place. There's quite a few cars here within about two or 3 seconds. So this is looking interesting battle at the back here, as same as the one at the front that's just under a second between the front two, and Scooter Sam just in the background as well. So this could be shaping up for another interesting race today. As looking at G going a bit wide. Will that open the door for Cherry Berry? Not quite, but it certainly closed the gap there, and Luke just needs to watch. You'll be seeing that BMW Chris just ahead of him, but also needs to watch he doesn't lose ground with the Lamborghinis looming in the background, and be just closing up a bit on here, so needs to watch, but going well early on in this race anyway.
Absolutely right, Ian. I mean, there's so many storylines already developing in this race. It's hard to know where to look, isn't it? Alex CDL, he looks like he's had a little bit of an issue. Look, he's dropped to third now. So that's just dropped him behind Scuderia Sam. I don't know whether he has a bit of an issue on the straight or something there, or into turn one, because Scuderia Sam now is ahead. We've seen that he was pushing very hard, wasn't he, Alex CDL, to try and stay in touch with Roger. Once Roger got past, I think it was on lap 2, Alex CDL was pushing for everything to try and keep up, and he's still getting to grips with that BMW as well, but it does seem to like to keep its drivers on its toes, doesn't it? Chris Doherty's still getting up to speed too, and it looks like he's got a little chain of cars behind him, although not right on his tail. Luke McG and Cherry Berry is the battle we're watching now. We saw Luke McG get on that curb the lap before, and that kind of unsettled the car a little bit, and like I was saying earlier, the curbs here are pretty treacherous if you get on them, some more so than others, as they head now onto the Grand Prix section of the circuit. But it looks like that's put them a little bit under pressure from Cherry Bear. So it could be a little bit of a story of the race here, with drivers making little errors on the curbs, and that's putting them under pressure. Like we could see some action very shortly as Cherry Bear looks to go around the outside, and he's looking for the cutback and get a good exit. And I think he's got what he's looking for, because he's right in the slipstream now, right where he wants to be, behind the Scotsman. And we know how racy these two can be with each other, don't we? Especially as Lamborghini teammates. But Cherry Berry now, he's run a little bit wide. He's done what Ian did slightly the lap before, but not quite the same extreme. But he's still right on the back of Ian here, Luke McG, and coming around the tight left hand. This is a very tricky corner. You've got that tyre barrier on the outside waiting to catch you out if you get on the throttle too early. You've got to be patient with the throttle there. Luke McG going very early through the left-hander, the penultimate corner, and now coming through the right-hander, the final corner. Looks like Cherry Berry has just fallen off a little bit here, but he's got a good run here actually, and he's still in the slipstream. He's still hunting, still hustling the car, looking for that 5th position. He wants that 5th of Luke McG. It'd be interesting to see if he does find a way past, whether he will pull away from Luke McG, where he's got more pace, or whether it's just a case of Luke McG's defending some of the corners, and that's keeping them together. But either way, I think they're quite evenly paced. Oh no! I'm talking a Lamborghini Cummins together. Look what's happened now. Cherry Berry there just got a little bit of a bucking bronco from Luke McG, kicked him into the barrier. But it's very easy to do going up the hill there. It's a very, very bumpy section of tarmac, and cars going side by side there are always taking that risk. But that's dropped him behind another Lamborghini now of McKeb's. And I was going to mention Chris, here he is in 4th place. He'll be quite happy that all that's been kicking off behind him. It's given him some breathing space to get to grips with this BMW. As we can look at the very fast cameraman now, we're alongside that lovely black livery of 45 number BMW there. So yeah, like you were saying, Ian, he switched from the Renault. We've only got one Renault left in the field now of Twingo, I think. So it'd be interesting to see whether he also jumps to something else. Drivers, of course, are free to jump to different cars if they do so wish. However, they're not allowed to use the car that they used in the last GT3 Championship, which is why we're not seeing Scuderia Sam, for example, in the Ferrari. He's in the Lambo as well, isn't he? But one thing I wanted to touch on really quickly, Stalker Brown in 10th. He's made his pit stop. We saw him come into the pits a couple of laps ago. But he must have had a big issue somewhere because he was right on the tail of Chris Doddy in the battle with him and Cherry Bigger was very wise in the battle with him and Scuderia Sam. So Stalker Brown looks like he had a big issue and he decided to take his pit stop. Oh no, it's a spinner. Oh, that's Lupin McGee. Lupin McGee's round and it's going to cost him lots of positions now. He must have got on the throttle a little bit early coming out of that corner perhaps. And McEvs and Cherry Berry battling their way, just about avoid him and go through and stalk and Twingo now is hunting Lupin McGee as well, so it's all starting to kick off here now.
Yeah, it sure is. That was a very unfortunate moment for Lupin McGee, and he almost got his two Lamborghini teammates out as they came around that blind corner, and he was just right there parked into the barrier, so that'll give them a bit of a fright, and Lupin McGee won't be too happy either, because he was having had a wee come together, Cherry Bear, giving a wee break, and oh no, there's Cherry Bear again, almost the same corner. Just as said that, and that's put Lupin McGee back ahead, and Cherry Bear, having been so close to Lupin McGee, he gets a wee nudge. He gets a wee nudge on the way past there from Free Gazelle, so that was perfect timing there. But Cherry Bear having him and Lupin McGee, he'd been showing some good pace, and he was like catching Lupin McGee there, and then had a wee mistake, and then Lupin McGee seemed to have done the same thing, and that had put Cherry Bear ahead. But now he's made another mistake, and that's put McEvs up into fourth and into fifth, sorry. And the two Lamborghini's teammates have both had their own incidents and dropped back. So that's Cherry Bear back to ninth now, and as you say, Stalker Brown at the back must have had an incident early on that we didn't see, but he was showing good pace for Chris there, and he's dropped right back, and now getting his pit stop out of the way, he might as well go for broke and see what happens. But you never know, as we saw with the two Lamborghinis there, what can happen. And we're looking at the sort of team leader Lamborghini with up in front with Scuderia Sam, who's now got ahead of Alex CDL, so he must have had a moment, and that's put Scuderia Sam up in second, and Roger now with a 4-second lead. Just look at after the wee nudge on the way past, it's Cherryberry and Free Gazelle having a big battle. I wouldn't want to pick a fight with that big Bentley. That's not gonna end well for the little Italian, or the relatively little Italian in comparison. That's looks very menacing down that big straight, and with the speed that it's got, it's put to good use. So definitely want to pick a fight with that if you can, as he's coming through the 90, as it's called, and there's Cherryberry just.
How did they decide on that corner name?
Getting a bit wide. Some American must have been. We'll call it the 90. That's how I imagine it. We'll call it the 90 corner. But that's what they've gone with, and that's just before the S's, which could have a little more interesting name, especially the action we've seen through it already today. But that's how it came about, and here's.
Well, I think they should name the corner after that, the top of their hill, the Cherryberry corner, because that hasn't got a name officially.
Definitely. There we go. Yeah, the Cherryberry just before the back straight, as original as that is. So, that would be. Definitely want to put in the suggestion box for the circuit owners as we look at Alex CDL, the Larry machine, really, with the BMW.
He's taking liberties, isn't he?
He certainly is, and it's definitely a fan favourite for that. But it's not worked out so far for him. Not working out too well for him so far, but. It's still early days, and we look at it, it's not having a great day as Lupin G, but he's bearing down on his Lamborghini teammate and taking full pace there. But after his incidents, he'll be won't be too disheartened with that. Looking like fifth place is still an option. As look at Cherryberry has managed to get past that bruising Bentley, and he'll be looking to maybe make amends as well as he closes in with Twingo 5 seconds down the road. So now he's got that Bentley out of the way if he can make any inroads on that. But it's certainly been an eventful start for the Lamborghinis. So we'll see how they go with just over the halfway point in the race.
Definitely, and here we go again. This is McEvs with the widest Lamborghini on the grid. He's one of the hardest people to overtake in the league. I thought it was going to be an airplane crash there. There's nearly. And McEvs has punted off a little bit there. Lupin McGee is like, warning there for Lupin McGee for driving standards. it's very hard to judge the closing speed in that chicane, in fairness to the both of them. But I think McEvs will be like thinking, well, I got the widest Lamborghini in the world, but unfortunately a little tap from another Lamborghini means I'm going straight on. And Luke McGee says thank you very much. Be interested to see whether he lets him back through here or not. Looks like McEvs is closing right up to the back of him here. Maybe it's just toy in with him, I don't know. But these two are having an absolutely epic fight. And there are quite a number of Lamborghinis in the field, so it's no wonder that we do often see them battling together with each other. A number of different Lamborghinis, but it does seem to happen more often with this lot, doesn't it, than the other drivers. But it's such a fiercely competitive midfield we've got in the league at the moment, with all these drivers in the mix, similarly paced cars, and it also changes depending on the circuit we go to as well. The Lamborghini is probably not the strongest circuit for it here, but it doesn't matter when lots of them are in the same car. But it does look like the top three have really managed to get a big lead now on the rest of them, as McEvs outbreaks himself, nearly takes Luke McGee with him, nearly repays the favour from earlier. I think this battle is going to run for a little bit longer, to be honest, but back to the tactic. Let's talk tactics for a second, Ian. So top three, they've got a bit of a gap, haven't they? Chris Dottie's in sort of no man's land at the moment, in fourth there, and then we've got the battles going on behind. So what do you do if you're the likes of well, firstly Roger, if he could come out maybe fourth or fifth, couldn't he? If he pits now, he uses his pit stop, which bear in mind race 2 is coming up as well. Or what do you do if you're the likes of McGee, because you're going to drop and lose quite a few positions?
Yeah, I think with Luke McGee and some of the incidents he's had, he'll be quite happy to be up in fifth in this stage in the race. But yeah, you're looking at your Rogers, Scuderia Sam. Could they drop out? I mean, we saw Scuderia Sam do this in Brno, where he was out in the lead and he pitted and managed to get back out. So if you could do that, then it definitely sets you up nicely for race 2. As you say, likes of Luke McGee might have been thinking about that if he'd not had some incidents. But given the tangles you've had, if you take the drop back and then tangle another car, it can drop you right back. Although it does set you up nicely for race 2 with some of the leaders. But here we go, as you were saying, that's Roger just from the lead, and he's obviously been just like we were looking at that gap and thinking this is my moment, and he's kind of done a Sam there with dropping from the lead and seeing if he can make inroads. But given the way things, there's Chris just coming by, but it looks like he'll get out ahead of McGee, and there's Cherryberry in the back. Having another moment, oh dear. Just not being Cherryberry, so you better watch himself, because he's going to be back under attack from that Bentley that he was tangling with earlier. So
and somehow that Lamborghini bumper is still on. How the hell does that happen?
That's and he's decided, there you go. So he's decided that enough's enough and might as well get my pit stop out of the way of this miserable race, and hope for better luck in race 2. As we look at Chris, who's now been promoted to a podium spot, but he's Roger 3 seconds behind, and he's showing excellent pace in that McLaren, so could be one for Chris to watch out for. And here's Stalker Brown, the podium machine, but not today. He's now might have a chance of jumping Cherryberry, who's just seems had an instant packed and rather unfortunate day. And here's Twingo, not too far behind McEvs, so he's might be coming into it there. But McGee with the problems he's had, I think he'll be probably want to stay out. And there's Roger closing in on it. Chris Doherty just 3 seconds ahead, so he's not at the podium spots. And if he lands a podium here and he's all clear for race 2, and Scuderia Sam and Alex C. Dale both have to pit, then he'll be sitting very pretty considering the pace he's had today. So looking good for Roger, but needs to clear Chris to make it even sweeter just now, with Scuderia Sam and Alex C. Dale now weighing up. I think this probably decreases the chances of them pitting here, because they're in a bit of a battle, and it kind of makes the gap a little more blurry, because you've got that gaggle of Loopy McGee, McEvs and Twingo not too far. So probably one for them to see out now, with Roger dropping back a bit, but it does set them up, put them in an interesting position for race 2. But it's something to look forward to, is see Alex C. Dale giving it again, still giving it everything, trying to catch that Lamborghini's within just over a second now. So he's got he's definitely closing up there, but it's whether Sam's just managing that gap, or if Alex can close it down. But he's certainly giving it everything. It's coming through the heel there, and he's that was the chute, sorry, not the heel. He's coming through there and giving everything. So with a minute, 1.5 second gap, it's still time, I think, for him.
I think so. I mean, he just put his fastest lap of the race in the last time around, so he's really hunting for that win, is Alex Idiel, and if he gets half a chance on the straight with the power of that BMW, I think he'll be really troubling Scuderia Sam. So it really is a race to the end for those two, and it's a race to the end for the final podium position as well, because Roger, having made his pit stop, is now close right in on Chris Doherty, and he's going for the move already down the inside. That was very brave. I don't think Chris saw that one coming. Chris is a real life racing driver, of course. Can't believe it's taken that long in the race to mention that. But anyway, and he's ceded that position now. I think probably he didn't want to put up too much of a fight because Roger's just got so much pace here, although he's really hustling the back of the McLaren now. And as I was saying, that BMW does seem to have good straight line speed, so perhaps he can worry Roger still here a little bit. But it looks like Roger's through and away now, and you can see that gap opening up already as we're on the last lap now. 1.1 seconds the gap between the two in front here, first and second. And Alex Idiel really hasn't given up at all yet. He's really pushing. Every time I see him come through the last corner particularly, I just want to hide behind the sofa. It looks like he's about to absolutely clout the outside wall. And every single corner pretty much, he's just absolutely thrown the thing in. But that's the style of Alex Idiel. That's what he likes to do. Scuderia Sam, on the other hand, is a bit more sort of stable looking in the corners, but pumping the throttle quite a bit as well. He's on the controller. Alex Idiel is on the steering wheel setup. So two different setups there as well. Two completely different cars. That's what we love about GT3 racing and about this particular league as well, isn't it? It's just got such a great mix of drivers, and these two as well, they've battled it out for many championships in the past, so they're very familiar with each other. But Scuderia Sam versus Alex Idiel for the win. They're coming up to the last few corners now, so it'll be interesting to see who gets there first. Roger the Dodger, he's steadily pulling away from Chris Doherty for the final podium position now. I think Chris will be looking to the second race, although he'll have to make his pit stop in the second race actually, won't he, Chris? So that might drop him back into the mid-pack a little bit, and he might find himself battling a few more cars. McG looks set for fifth after pulling another few more seconds on Makev's there, and Twingo and Free Gazelle. Yeah, all the other positions look pretty much set. Oh, Alex Idiel, he's dropped a good number of seconds there. Scuderia Sam claims the win. I don't know what happened with Alex Idiel. It looks like he binned it or something, because he lost about 5 or 6 seconds there on the last lap. He must have had his bumper's missing, so he's definitely lost his bumper on some bit of American guardrail around this very bumpy track. Don't know what happened, but anyway, still second. That's a good result for Alex Idiel, good haul of points. And Roger coming third, but he'll obviously not have to take a pit stop in the second race, so it really does set him up nicely, depending on, of course, how the random grid sets out. As Makev's, what's he doing to that poor Lamborghini? I don't know, that thing must be made of some sort of, I don't know, it's just not breaking at all, that Lamborghini. Obviously it's just cosmetic damage, but it's got no bits of bumper hanging off it at all on Makev's car. God knows how that is, and McG as well. But McG comes across the line in fifth, Makev sixth, and then we wait the Renault of Twingo to come across in seventh. Good result from Twingo there. Really outpaced Free Gazelle, to be honest, all race long. And Free Gazelle still getting to grips, and we have seen Free Gazelle come back strongly, haven't we, in the second race, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do.
Yeah, definitely, and he's one to roll the dice and strategy, so that'll be very interesting. That's a nice 8th place for him there, and see how he does there as Cherryberry, after quite a day, comes home in 9th, and sums up his day by dropping his bonnet on the finish line there, and here's Stalker Brown coming off to round two. So yeah, not his day today, but certainly one to watch in race 2, given some of the performances he does this year as we look at the final standings.
Yeah, confirmation of the results there. The top 3, Scuderia Sam, Alex Idiel, Roger the Dodger, Chris Doherty there. With a good number of drivers still to take their pit stops in race 2, and some of them looking to benefit having already taken their pit stops. The likes of Roger the Dodger and Stalker Brown come to mind. Championship standings, so Scuderia Sam opens up that gap a little bit on Alex Idiel and Roger chasing hard behind, with Chris Doherty and Stalker Brown only 1 point separating those two in 4th and 5th, and Luffy McGee and Subrosa, who is absent for this race. Race 2 is now loading, and positions of the drivers will be revealed very shortly. We could see a lot of drivers out of position to what they're normally used to, so it could be absolute carnage. 4 lights, 5 lights, and the drivers raring to go now. At the top of the hill, they're coming down to turn 1. It's already 4 abreast pretty much. It looks like an excellent start there from McEvs, who's straight into the lead, but fighting back on the inside is Cherryberry. They go side by side through there. Twingo right round the outside of the lot of them, almost overtaking Cherryberry, and he has overtaken Cherryberry actually, and now we've got 2 Lamborghinis side by side. This could end in tears. Luke McGee and Scuderia Sam, and coming up to, and they tangle, and that's Luke McGee round, and bang, and Chris Doddy over and over in the BMW. Alex Yellen in the BMW also involved. 2 BMWs, 2 Lamborghinis wiped out at turn 3 up the hill. Incredible. And look who's leading. It's it's not leading, it's Roger just ahead of this pack, but look, they're still fighting their way through. It looks like Luke McGee came off worst from all of that. But side by side the BMWs go now, with Scuderia Sam looking to take advantage of this. Alex CDL hanging the back end out of that yellow BM, as it's hunting hard now after Chris Doughty in 7th, 8th and 9th. These drivers, they got a lot of pace, but they got a lot of work to do, and if they keep battling the way they are, they're going to stay there by the end too. So they really need to get a move on. Luke McGee though, really did not work out well for him at all there, unfortunately. We'll have to review what happened there. But McEvs won't care at all, because he's way out in the lead. 1 second advantage already. We're not even halfway around the first lap. And Cherryberry and Stalker Brown, who really has to have a good result in this race, Stalker Brown, to get some points. Hopefully he can reclaim his sort of podium status from earlier in the season. And Twingo's hanging on well there as well. And we've got the menacing Bentley of Free Gazelle just in behind too. So it's a really, really interesting order as we come around to the end of lap 1 here. But what do you make of all that, Ian, and particularly the massive crash?
Yeah, that was quite a moment. Luke McGee, after having his tangles with his other Lamborghini teammates, just had Sam to tangle with, and he's got the full set now. I think it was just coming through the first corner, they obviously side by side, and then it tightens up that S as they go up onto the back straight, and I think Luke McGee was just slightly ahead there, and they just had a wee knee nudge, and I think it looked like they were going to get away with it, because after tangling with Sam, he looked like he was recovering, but then Chris in that black BMW just came slamming through and was doing the full loop as it ended up landing on Alex CDL as well, and that's where it all went. I think it went wrong for quite a few drivers, especially when he spun out. And Sam dropped back as well, so it was a bit of a coming together, and then just the kind of knock-on effect, and all ended up like that. That said, so that dropped Luke McGee right to the back, and Scuderia Sam down in 8th. So not a good start for him, especially considering he'll have to pit. And there we go. It's another Lamborghini, and it's undecided Luigi. Oh no, it's Sam, not Luigi. That's Sam. Come round.
Yeah.
So that's and there's Luigi there. So Sam's wiped out another Lamborghini for good measure. So he's going for the big.
Oh, he was just helping him out. He's back on his wheels.
Sam and Loopy going for the Lamborghini bingo today. So that's I think it's just Cherryberry Sam needs. So and he's out in front at the moment. So he'll be looking for his team mate coming through at some point. But it's all happening at Team Lamborghini today. They almost look like Ferrari today. As here we go again today. And, closing in, and is it going to be? No, are they going to be behaving themselves after their early behaviour, hopefully. So and here's Alex CDL trying to get past Free Gazelle, who's going for his pit. They're both going for the pit stop. That was a last minute call, I think, from Alex CDL, but he's gotten in there, and here's Sam getting his pit. Dearie me. that was a no spoiler in the back there, and it's no surprise given what's all going on kicked off in this first.
I don't know if he was losing the back end and had no choice but to pit then. It kind of looks like it, didn't it?
Certainly did, as we look at Chris and Twingo.
Everywhere.
But yeah, it's carnage. On the Euro, there's Chris and Twingo doing a bit get together as well. So yeah, it's carnage everywhere. Look at the moment. But that was quite an entertaining beginning, and drivers will just be taking stock of where they are just now, I think.
Yeah, and some drivers deciding to come into the pits very, very early. So Scuderia Sam, Alex CDL, Free Gazelle. Why was Free Gazelle pitting? I thought he pitted race 1. That's why, isn't it? Get the soft tyres. That's what he tends to like doing in race 2. But McEvs is down there in 7th now after that massive coming together. We didn't really see how that really panned out, whether he just lost the back end and got tagged afterwards, or whether he was tagged first. I don't know if you noticed, Ian.
No, I didn't really see it. It was just it just coming. He was coming round. He looked because it's quite an easy corner to lose it yourself. I've seen a few drivers doing that. So whether he lost it himself or got tagged, but he just seemed to end up on his side and then just come around the corner. It was Screwdriver Sam think he was onside and just ploughed straight into him. So
they balance perfectly on their side. These Lamborghinis, don't they? They're just absolutely well. They're well balanced going around corners, and they're well balanced when they're up on their side as well after massive contact with likely another Lamborghini. As you can see, the flappy bumpers of the Lambos working hard there. But look at these two now. It's like a repeat of race 1, isn't it? With Luke McGee versus McKev, Scotsman versus the Welshman. No love lost between these two. They race each other extremely hard. Luke McGee, though, he's already got McKev's in his set, so I don't think he needs to tangle with him again. But McKev's possibly, maybe he hasn't got Luke McGee in his set, so we can see it come together. Oh, Luke McGee very out of shape there. He got on that dangerous curb and the last corner. Oh. And Marquez was trying to use the old Monaco technique, turn the damage off, use the walls to get round, but it didn't quite work for him then. He's lost a lot of time coming onto the straight, and that's let Luke McGee off the hook a little bit after that error that he made. Stalker Brown now, he's in second, but he's got the menacing Roger in the McLaren right behind him, and this is allowing Cherryberry to open up a little bit of breathing space, but I think Roger is a pretty much foregone conclusion. Roger's going to get past at some point. He's already through, look. He's already through into that, right round the outside. You can see how much confidence and performance Roger has in that McLaren at this circuit, and he's already made his pit stop in race 1, so he's looking really, really good here, Roger, unless he really messes up, especially with his main rivals having so many incidents already, half a minute down. Right at the back there. Chris Doherty's one to watch though. He's in 5th at the moment, going well in the BMW, having a good race. He has to make a pit stop as well though, let's not forget. So that could drop him back through again. So these drivers will be starting to think about how the strategy is going to play out in this race now. But certainly for the likes of Cherryberry and Roger and Stalker Brown up ahead, it's looking very, very good for these drivers, isn't it?
It's Cherryberry and Roger both got their pit stops out their way at race 1 and looking very good. And Roger, who's had exceptional pace here today, he's looking very good. He'll be liking the look of that. So he's got one car to clear, and he's coming away from your potential winning a podium. So, but Cherryberry's shown had some good performances. Got a few wins in the Audi last time out in the GT3 Championship with the Audi R8. So he knows how to drive these races as well. So he could be a tough opponent, and obviously.
And he won the first ever race, didn't he?
Indeed he did. So he's he'll be fancying his chances there. He had a wretched race 1, but that would be just rewards for going through that pain to get a good result here. So that's looking very good for him. As we look at Alex CDL on the recovery, just coming past Luke McGee here, but it's gone a bit wide, and that's let Luke McGee down the inside. Luke McGee's in exactly the same position as he was with Screwdriver Sam, but he's thought better of it, and Alex has just got through there. So lightning didn't strike twice there for him, but here's Roger.
Well, it wasn't a Lamborghini.
Well, exactly. So here's Roger Dodger now looking in very good position on Cherryberry's. Thinking about it, but not quite. An opportunity's not quite there yet, so he'll be coming around and having a look, and here he is, just trying to get a line up on that. But this sort of last section is quite tricky. You need to be very committed to get the overtake done here. But if anyone's going to do it, I think Roger is with the pace he's going. He's got on the outside, but Cherryberry's just closed the door there nicely. But with the pace Roger has on this straight, this could be the moment as he's trying to line Cherryberry up. Cherryberry's going defensive on the inside line, but just done enough there to stay ahead. But Roger's all over him at this stage, and looking very racing. He'll be keen to maximise his points advantage with Screwdriver Sam and Alex CDL still coming through the field as Cherryberry is again placing the car in the right places for the defensive line. But Roger's looking very good here, and he'll be wanting to get past and, as I say, maximise his advantage. Meanwhile, in the background, Stalker Brown, who's had a very bad, and here's the move. That's Roger. Yep, he's just full commitment there, and he's got the job done, and he'll be now hoping to pull away here with that advantage. And as I was saying, there's Stalker around the background who's had a bit of a torrid race one, but he's managed to put himself in the podium places now, and he'll just be looking at Chris in the background. But there's Scrooge Sam coming. He's cleared Twingo, and he'll be looking to home in on Alex CDL if he can here, so that'll be an interesting one as McKevs comes into the pit stop, and Luke G and Free Gazelle looking to do battle as I think Free Gazelle's done his pit. I think Luke G may still have to do so, this could be an interesting battle with Free Gazelle on his trademark soft tyres as they come through towards the end, the sort of middle section here, and Free Gazelle will be fancying his chances just now, but looking at G will be just trying to stay in there. It's not been a great start for him, and he'll be looking to not lose too many positions, but I think it's recovery mode for Looping G. Here's look at a yellow flag, there's Twingo around. Oh dear, that's just unfortunate. It's a bit off camera there, but it looks like he's just had a wee lost the back end there, and it's just swung round, and here's Luigi still ahead of Twingo, but he's gone wide, and this has opened the door nicely for Free Gazelle. Not quite enough there, but Free Gazelle's looking very racy, so it could just be a matter of time before he's past here.
Yeah, he's looking extremely racy on those softer tyres. It looks like a massive house on wheels, doesn't it, looming in on the back of Luke McGee there. If he looks in his rear view mirror in that Lamborghini, you'll just see a massive Bentley sign and nothing else. But yeah, he's looking extremely racy, like you say. It'll be interesting to see where he's going to look to get this move done, because Luke McGee's defending extremely well. But look at the speed of the Bentley now coming down the straight. Looks like he's going to dive down the inside of turn 1 here. Later on the brakes, softer tyres, and through he goes. But Luke McGee hasn't given up yet. He's got a great exit. And how many times has Luke McGee been side by side through these corners? So it really backs out of this one this time. And through goes Free Gazelle, and he's got some good space up ahead of him now. The next man up the road is Scuderia Sam in 6th, so it'll be interesting to see whether he can close in on him. Scuderia Sam still hasn't given up on catching Alex CDL's very loose rear-ended BMW just up ahead in 5th. But just going back to the fight for the lead earlier on with Roger. Roger overtook Cherryberry. What's happened to Cherryberry? His Lamborghini is sunken in the tarmac in the pits, and it looks like that's a very, very interesting position for his Lamborghini. I don't think it's going to go anywhere anytime soon, and I'm hearing that he has disconnected from the race, unfortunately, so there's been some sort of disconnection issues from Cherryberry, and that Lamborghini, it looks like that's out of the race, unfortunately. But he put up a valiant defence, didn't he, to Roger? But up the hill there, I mean, there was no way of defending that. But you still got to make the move done into the chicane, because even though you get the slingshot up the hill that you see Roger going through now, you still got to make the move into that very treacherous, fast right left and then left right chicane, don't you? So it's still a tricky place to overtake this circuit, even if you have that advantage of the slipstream up the hill there. But back to the action, Chris Dodds is promoted to 2nd place now, and it's Stalker Brown at the moment in 3rd place, and he holds a very, very big lead over Alex CDL in 4th. So those top 3 now are really, very much like we saw in race 1, the top 3 have broken away, and it looks like the chasing pack are trying hard to catch up. But from 4th down to 8th where McGee is, and 9th where Twingo is, it's very close in the pack there. Luke McGee's pitting though. He didn't take his pit stop in race 1, so that's going to cost him big time for the rest of the race now. He's going to have it all to do. But Luke McGee's in the pits now, and that's going to put him back out around, well, I was going to say McKevs, but it looks like McKevs might have stopped as well, Ian, hasn't he? Because you can see the timing screen there, he's falling back all the time. So I think we might have lost 2 from this race, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's tragic to see Cherryberry, who was in the fight for the lead there, and now he looks more like an art exhibit. So very unfortunate given the day he's had, and he'll be hoping for better things in future rounds. But I think McKevs looks like he did come in for his pit stop, but it looks like he's having trouble as well. So that'll put McGee in eighth place, which won't be too happy with, but given the day he's had, that's where he's ended up. As we look at the world's fastest cameraman on race leader here, Roger, that's some really nice shots, and Roger's putting into a terrific performance today. Great pace in race 1, and again just hammering home that advantage in race 2. He's got a good gap over Chris Doherty, who's been running well in that BMW, so he'll be pleased with that. And Stalker Brown in third. But yeah, it's such an unfortunate for half of Team Lamborghini after all their antics, and they both look like they've had either connection or issues outside. So really unfortunate to see as we look at Chris Doherty coming through the inner loop or bus stop sort of section.
I think the virtual mechanics had given up fixing the Lambos.
Yeah, maybe that's it. It's like they've had their lot, they run out of parts, so they've just glued Cherry Berry to the ground there, and McKev's is floating off into the distance as well. Unfortunately, as we look at Sam, this is now it was the lead Lamborghini in the last race, and it's looking like that again in this race with Free Gazelle doing his party trick and munching down the miles. But it's within 5 seconds of Sam here, so and he's got that big long straight. So
look at the lap time of Free Gazelle. He's a second faster than anybody else in the track.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's the difference, and that's a gamble. So it's difficult to tell just with the sort of temperatures whether that would be worthwhile or not. There was a lot of debate on that, but seems to be working out for Free Gazelle just now. And as you say, he's like over a second faster, so he's right in the groove here. As we look at Screwdrivers Sam, who's just kind of ticking down. It's hard to say if he'll have a chance. He's still within distance of Alex CDL if he has a moment, or so yeah, Sam will be looking to reel him if he can, and he'll be seeing him up ahead there, so maybe be fancying his chances. But yeah, it's kind of starting to settle down now that we've had some of the issues. But as we look at Chris Doherty now making his pit stops, this will be interesting just to see if this how this here's Alex CDL. So it'll be tight, it'll be very tight here, but as Chris Doherty's just out ahead, is he? Yep, he's managed to get the head out, but that's closed it right up between him, Alex CDL and Screwdriver Sam. So could be quite a battle as we close into the last 5 minutes of this race for the final podium spot. But Chris Doherty, after the troubles he's had, will be quite happy to still be in the podium fight at this stage in the race, and this could be an epic battle between himself, Alex CDL, who's had a lot of good battles with, and Screwdriver Sam in the background. So all to play for as we close into the final stages of this race.
Yeah, three drivers here have been with the league a very long time, fighting for the final podium position. Chris Doherty, Alex CDL and Scuderi Sam, BMW and Lamborghini, with the very fast Free Gazelle closing in on all three of them. So we could even have a four-way fight for the podium by the end. There's still another 5 minutes to go in this race. And you can see the BMW complaining a little bit up ahead there of Chris Doherty as he gets on the throttle, coming down one of the back straights here at the Glen, as it's known, the nickname of this circuit. And kicking up a little bit of dust on the outside. I thought he'd just gone a little bit too wide on the entry there, Chris Doherty, but he gets away with it. You can see how hard these two drivers are pushing. Equal machinery, of course, as well. And it's interesting because both these drivers have recently switched to the BMW, so they're both still getting up to speed. But it looks like it's going very well in both hands, both these drivers. But it shows what sort of pace Chris Doherty has had in that clear air. He's been pumping in the lap times, and he's come out ahead of Alex CDL, who, you know, at the start of the race they were together, weren't they, in that incident as Alex CDL brushes the wall on the outside. They're trying his best to catch Chris Doherty. He wants that podium position more than anyone right now, possibly. But Chris Doherty, he's definitely going better in this Beamer than he was earlier in the season in that Renault. It's nice to see him have a little bit more luck, isn't it? The real life racing driver, of course, of the league. And Scuderi Sam chasing hard. He's still roughly 3 seconds back from that little battle going on, so hasn't really made many inroads, although he has just pumped in the joint fastest lap of the race. Oh no, sorry, take it back. Second fastest lap of the race, because Free Gazelle's just pumped in F1:42.6. Where did that come from? That's rapid. And he's close to within 4 seconds now with Scuderi Sam in fifth. So really, really on the move is Free Gazelle. This could get very tasty towards the end, because obviously you lose a lot of time changing your tyres in the pits, but if you've got that sort of pace, perhaps it's worth it. Of course, these are 20-minute races, so you haven't got all the time in the world. But who knows, Free Gazelle could catch this slot still yet, especially if they run into issues, and especially if they start dicing with each other towards the end of this race. Only another few minutes to go, so another couple of laps I would have guessed. Back in the pack we've got Twingo. He looks good for 7th at the moment, 7-second advantage over McG. And then, of course, the two DNFs at the back there. As Alex CDL closes now to within half a second of Chris Doherty. So this battle's really heating up. And the leader, Roger, he's absolutely walked away from the rest of them today. He's got so much pace in that McLaren. Finally, it's clicking for him after a few sort of scruffy rounds where he's been involved in incidents and whatnot. He's always had the pace though, and he's really showing it here today, and he's going to make a big dent on the two ahead of him in the championship of Alex CDL and Scuderia Sam if it ends this way today. And still his championship hopes are still very much up for grabs. But back with the action here as they go over the line now to start the final lap. Chris Doherty is still resisting the charge in Alex CDL, and Scuderia Sam's hoping for something to happen up ahead as well. So I don't know, I wouldn't like to call this one, Ian.
No, definitely not. I mean, we've seen some epic finishes between Alex CDL and Chris Doherty in the past, so could be in for a grandstand finish today again. That would what we'd like to see. But Chris Doherty would just like to see his BMW securing his podium after what's been a pretty tough championship for him in the Renault. So he'd just be hoping that now BMW teammate just stays behind him. But Alex CDL with Sam just behind him, and he's still enjoying the change to the BMW, and he'll be wanting to make every point count here if he can. And he's closing in right here. He's been given everything, and he'll be wanting to get one last spot if he can, just to finish off.
Different lines through there, Ian.
Very different lines, yeah.
Different lines between the two.
Very different lines, yeah. So, and there's Roger got the win. So it's and it'll be Stalker Brown for the second place. So it's all to play as we look at. That was Alex CDL going for the move there, but we switched the race leader, but. And Stalker Brown, the podium machine, bagging another podium now after a pretty tough race one. He'll be quite pleased to recover and get the second spot here. But here we go. Here's the battle. It's Chris Doherty just probably done enough as Alex CDL goes very wide there, but it's very difficult to overtake in this last section. And Alex CDL try to do the grind, but there's Chris Doherty delighted with that as he's done an excellent job there in that BMW, working very nicely. I was looking at it. Free Gazelle made the bold move to go onto the softs, but it's worked out nicely for him. And there's Loopy McGee just got the better Twingo. It looked like that opportunity is gone. So looks like Twingo's had another issue just there, and he's just got ahead of. Twingo there. Twingo will be hate that. They love the rebattles, and they won't like to lose out to the Scotsman there at the end. But it's always a good fight between them, and they'll be glad to have had a wee battle there. But it looks like Luke McGee's just done enough. If he doesn't throw off the road there, which is not beyond the realms of possibility, but it looks like he's just done enough to get this home in 7th. And given the race he's had, I think he'd be quite happy with that. Obviously benefiting with his Lamborghini's teammates having their issues, and comes home for a 7th place. And Twingo rounds off the finishers with only 8 today. But it's been quite an eventful race and quite an eventful event as we look at the final standings.
Yeah, and the blue screen of death there you just saw for the two DNFs. Unfortunate to lose a couple, but it was great racing anyway. Unfortunately, there wasn't a couple more laps at the end there, because I really think it would have really heated up for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th, that battle. It was just starting to get going, wasn't it? But still excellent driving, excellent racing all round. Scuderia Sam just opens his lead in the championship ever so slightly over Alex CDL, and Roger the Dodger had a really good show in here today. He's closed in slightly on the top 2. Look at that image. Absolute carnage, wasn't it, on lap 1 there?
Sums it all up today.
It certainly does, doesn't it? Bits of bodywork absolutely everywhere, as you'd expect from this sort of track. But next up is Nürburgring, a real driver's favourite. Not the Nordschleife, the Nürburgring GP circuit. But should be very interested to see how the cars go there, and whether Roger can continue this form into the next race rather. So from Ian and myself, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.